Okay, something different today, not doing any pizza. Today we're going to do a barbecued roast pork belly on the Weber, slow roast for about 4 to 5 hours. We've just created a bed here of celery, onion and carrot, whacked that in a roasting tray. I've got a big slab of pork belly, it's about that size there to give you an idea, it's about 1.5 kilo. On the bottom of it we rubbed just a dry rub, just any sort of dry rub that you like, or if not, just salt, pepper and garlic powder is fine. On the top, cut some slits into the skin, lightly oiled it with extra virgin olive oil and put some dry rub also on the top. Then we're going to fill up to the meat level, just below the meat level, to keep the meat moist inside with apple juice, and I'll show you that shortly. I'm now going to go fire up the barbie, get that ready so that we can get this on and baking, because it's going to take 4 to 5 hours. Okay, we've got the fire started on the Weber, ready to go for these pork belly roasts. Using the chimney, it starts the fire really quickly. See that fire's just started going in the bottom. Smoke's starting to come up, so once that's all ashed over white, I'm going to tip the beads into the 2 buckets on each side. So this is going to be a slow cook on the Weber, and both sides with fire, indirect, lid on, probably somewhere between 4 and 5 hours to cook that pork belly down so it's really soft and moist and juicy. Okay, we're about 12 to 15 minutes later. You can really see now that chimney is lit up. There's only a little bit of black left on top. They should be ashed all over, and when they're ready to pour into each side, you can see the natural red flame licking up out of that. It's stinking hot. You can see inside the chimney how red hot that is. So yeah, as soon as they finish ashing over white, I'm going to tip it into the 2 side buckets, of course using your fire gloves. And there we go, I've tipped the heat beads in each side. It may look black to you there, but that's just because of the top of it and the ash. But let me tell you, these things are red, raw, hot. They are really stinking hot. So now I'm just going to close the lid on the Weber and let that heat up inside really high, and just for about 2-3 minutes while I finish off getting the pork ready. And now back to the pork. The recipe calls for some fluid within the vegetables, which the fluid that you put in there, once mixed with the drippings from the pork and the flavouring of the onion, the carrots, the celery, can be used to form an apple gravy, if you like, because I'm going to use, guess what, apple juice, because of course apple goes good with pork. So I'm going to put, I don't know, about 1 inch or so, just to sort of cover those veggies. Here we go. It's a 2 litre bottle of apple juice I'm using here. Looks okay over this side, maybe a bit more over here because the veggies are stopping it from getting around probably the way it should. A bit more over here. Yeah. To put more or not to put more, because I don't want to boil the meat, obviously. We just want that apple juice in there to keep it sort of infused and moist on the meat. I think I'm happy with that. Look, I'm going to watch how it goes, and if it needs a bit more liquid in there, we'll put a bit more liquid. But now we're going to put it on the fire as hot as we can, because we really want that fire hot to crisp up this the skin immediately and dry that skin out. So as hot as you can get your Weber, go for it. Then once it's been on the Weber for a little bit, we'll close the vents a bit, drop the temperature to let the meat itself just slow roast. Okay, we're ready to whack it on. That barbie's been going for a little while. You probably can't see through the vents there. I don't think a camera can pick it up, but you can see when you look at it, that the image wobbles to your eyes. That heat of the smoke that's coming out of that barbie. She's stinking hot. So here we go, we're going to whack her on. So lid slides off to the side like that. Great design on these Webbers, the way they put that little thing on the side there to catch your lid. Here we go. Roast pork on. Roast pork butt there nicely in the middle. Okay. You can see the fire is indirect, obviously because of the pan and because it's spread out to the sides. She's on. And look, I'm going to come back and have a look at this in about half an hour once that heat's really taken to it. And see how the skin's going. Close it up nice. Always using the fire glove, of course. Don't want to get burnt. Done that before. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so the pork butt's been on the barbecue for about 20 minutes. And I can smell it over there. What I'm going to do now is I've just got some hickory chips. Hickory wood chips, buy these in the bag, Bunnings, and I've just got a cup of them, and I'm going to wet them because we're going to add a bit of hickory smoke to our cooking. So if you throw those hickory chips straight on, if you had a hickory chunk of wood, probably be better, a bit harder to find though, but if you wet these chips, right, let them soak for a couple of minutes, then you chuck them on your heat beads when they're wet. We'll throw the water out. We're not going to throw the water on there. We're just going to moisten these chips up, and when they're all nice and moist and wet, drain the water out, take the chips over and chuck them on top of our heat beads just to create real nice hickory smoky flavour. And that's what gives you a lot of the redness on top of the pork, and it gives you that sort of red ring, you know, the smoke ring they normally refer to. I'm just patting those down, making sure they get in there into the water. Yeah, it's just a cup of hickory chips that I'm wetting before I whack them on. Okay, those wood chips have been soaked there for a couple of minutes, and now I've just drained the water out. Back over here at the barbie, and let me tell you, through these vents, you can't smell it, but I can smell it, and there's an awesome smell coming out of there. But yeah, we're now just going to chuck some of these wet chips on top of those coals to create a bit of hickory smoke. Fire glove on always, safety of course. Okay, ooh, we can start to see that colouring up, and that apple juice starting to sizzle. So I'm going to get my hickory chips, and put some here on top of the heat beads, some on the other side too. In you go. Right. If one or two fall down, that's fine. I'll smoke up quicker. No biggie. A couple of chips on the other side as well. And you can smell them straight away as soon as you whack those on. And that combination of smell of that pork at the moment and these wood chips is just awesome. Wood chips, wood chips. So you're getting a bit of fire here on these wood chips already. But that's okay, because as soon as I close that up, a lot of that fire is going to stop, because it just doesn't have the oxygen it needs to maintain fire. Okay, lid back on. Okay, now you can see smoke billowing out of there, which is the chips. I've also got smoke coming around the sides because, you know, that Weber lid, a bit of smoke's coming out from under there. So I do something here which is a bit unconventional. I get a big heavy brick, whack it on my Weber lid, because I want to force that lid down as much as possible and stop smoke coming out of the lid as much as possible. Pushing it down, getting it in the optimum place. I only want the smoke coming out of the vent as much as possible. The more smoke that comes out from around the sides, it's smoke that's not getting to our meat. So, more this way. Just want that. There we go. See? Now that smoke, that hickory smoke right there, I tell you, smells divine. Absolutely smells awesome. That is really going to infuse that pork, create that smoke ring, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, we're back. We've now been roasting still that pork belly for about an hour, 15 minutes. It's an hour 15 minutes. It's been probably about 45 to 50 minutes since we put the hickory smoke in. What I've made up here is just a little blend of brown sugar, paprika, and a bit of garlic powder. Yeah, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, about just under a tablespoon of paprika, and about half a tablespoon of garlic powder. Just a bit of a dry rub, which I'm just going to pour over the skin now. What that's going to do is going to help to make that skin redder. It's also going to give the skin a really nice sweety, savoury flavour as that brown sugar melts onto it and caramelizes with the paprika and that garlic. And you even put a bit of salt, but I think the rub that I put on, that is a little bit salty already, so I don't need to put any more salt, I think, on the skin. But yeah, here we go. And of course, as that brown sugar melts, it's going to melt into that apple juice that we put in. Just going to give it a nice juice that we can also then turn into a gravy later. Having a look at the heat, yeah, we've still got good heat coming out of there. So let's have a look. Here we go. Here we go. Lift the lid off, and wow, look at that. Skin is crisp. It is crisp. The juices are there bubbling away with all that veggies, so that's good. Okay, put on some rub like this, just everywhere. So that's going to melt in more flavour because it's sugar, brown sugar, and that will melt in over it. It's like a dry rub, really. So looking good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, you can still see we've got lots of fire there. It's still nice and red there. Still a lot of red coming out of there. Fairly happy with the amount of heat that we got here. Yeah, seems to be cooking good. So quite happy with that. Yeah. What I might do is I'm going to turn the video off, but I think I'm going to get a ladle and just ladle some of that juice and veggies around a bit.
Yeah.
Is it crackly? It's
Yeah.
crunchy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got nice juice. It's like...
Okay, we're past the halfway mark now. We're at 2.5 hours in. So let's have a look. Lid off. Still a lot of heat coming out of there. Whoa. This is really starting to look good. Crispy skin. Gonna get more of this juice. Skin is crispy. Get more juice and pour it over like that. The juice has really gone down a lot. So I'm going to probably pour a bit more apple juice in here because I still want this to go for about an hour and a half and really soften up. It's good. Really happy with the way that's looking. The fat is rendering. You can see there how soft that fat is now getting. But oh jeez, it's just breaking apart. Fat in there. Oh, yummo. Yummo. Okay, so I'm going to close this up. I'm going to put a bit more apple juice in there. Yeah, and let it go for about another hour. That's really soft. Beautiful.
This way. This way.
Enough smoke ring.
Fell off.
It is, it's nice.
No, liver and probably wouldn't.
This is yummy. I'll have that one.
Hey, I wanted that piece.
Yeah. And how do you know how much people want?
A little bit. I think that's good. This apple juice and the pork juice gravy.
The video's still going.
There we go.
What apple slaw?